Welcome to the Expanded Learning in California Grantee Orientation video on Federal Program Monitoring, FPM, brought to you by the California Department of Education's Expanding Learning Division and the California AfterSchool Network. Hello, my name is Anissa Sonnenberg, Education Programs Consultant with the California Department of Education's Expanding Learning Division, CDE EXLD. Today we'll be discussing the Expanded Learning Program, EXLP Federal Program Monitoring, FPM Instrument. The California Monitoring Tool, CMT, the 7 dimensions of the EXLP instrument, common FPM findings, and frequently asked FPM questions. We'd like to make you aware that the FPM instrument has been renamed and updated. Previously known as the Before and After School Program Instrument, it is now known as the Expanded Learning Program Instrument and has been reduced from 24 items to only 20. What is Federal Program Monitoring? State and federal law requires CDE to monitor the implementation of categorical programs operated by local educational agencies, LEAs, community-based organizations, and other organizations specifically funded with state and federal program funds. It is the primary vehicle for monitoring appropriate implementation of programs and expenditure of funds in compliance with program requirements and ensures continuous quality improvement of each categorical program. The EXLP FPM instrument contains program-specific federal and state legal requirements that will be tested during the monitoring process. It contains 7 dimensions and 20 items, which we will review later in this video. The instrument also includes examples of evidence needed to satisfy the review requirements and demonstrates compliance. It is developed and reviewed by the CDE on an annual basis and may change from year to year to respond to changes in federal and state law, regulations, and court cases. It is important for grantees to become familiar with the instrument for reporting purposes. The EXLP FPM instrument contains 20 items to review, all programs that address the 3 EXLP funding sources that CDE administers: the After-School Safety and Education, ACES program, 21st Century Community Learning Centers, CCLC program, and the After-School Safety and Enrichment for Teens, ASSETS program. Some items apply to all 3 program funding sources, while others apply to specific program funding sources. To determine which item in the EXLP FPM instrument pertains to your program, each item contains the applicable program or programs, for example, ACES, 21st CCLC, and ASSETS. For example, on your screen now you will see EXLP 3 serves eligible pupils in appropriate grade levels. All 3 programs, ACES, 21st CCLC, and ASSETS, are reviewed for compliance in this item. Fact or fiction? FPM is the acronym for Financial Program Monitoring. Fiction. FPM stands for Federal Program Monitoring and contains both programmatic and fiscal components. The CMT is a new web-based tool developed by the CDE which allows the monitoring of local educational agencies, LEAs, to ensure that they meet fiscal and program requirements of federal categorical programs and state funding they receive. The EXLP FPM instrument is completed by grantees in the CMT located on the CDE web server. The EXLP FPM instrument is broken down into 7 dimensions. The first dimension is involvement, which covers the first 2 EXLP items. 1, collaboration with schools and community, and 2, ongoing consultation with private schools. Dimension 2 covers items relating to governance and administration. The items in this section are: 3, serves eligible pupils in appropriate grade levels; 4, operates program required hours and days; 5, early release and late arrival policies; 6, daily nutritious snack and/or meal or breakfast; 7, submits data and maintain records; and 8, inventory. Dimension 3 relates to funding and includes the following items: 9, funding direct services to pupils; 10, local contribution of cash or in-kind; 11, supplement, not supplant. Dimension 4 relates to standards, assessment, and accountability. The items include 12, evaluation requirements; 13, data-driven quality improvement process. Dimension 5, staffing and professional development pertains to the following items. 14, provide staff training. 15, student-to-staff ratio. And 16, staff minimum qualifications. Opportunity and equal educational access is the 6th dimension. The items in this section are 17, safe access to facilities. 18, information in parents' languages. And 19, 21st CCLC equitable access and ACES frontier transportation. The 7th and final dimension is teaching and learning and covers the remaining EXLP item, number 20, physical activity, academic, and enrichment elements. Fact or fiction? The system you will use to upload your FPM documents is the California Monitoring Tool, also known as the CMT. Fact. Find the link to the CMT on the resource page at the end of this video. Let's move on to the federal program monitoring process. Josh Brady, Education Administrator with the CDE EXLD, will discuss some more valuable information to know during your FPM process.
The CDE EXLD has created a list of common FPM findings. The top 5 most common findings are funding direct services to pupils, staff minimum qualifications, early release and late arrival policies, local contribution of cash or in-kind match, and supplement not supplant. Please contact your regional consultant for EXLP resources and for additional information on these items. Now we want to review some important notes for grantees who are going through FPM. We will monitor all EXLD administered grants, including before school, after school, summer supplemental, equitable access, and ACES transportation. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to provide grantees technical assistance during FPMs. However, we can provide compliance assistance. Compliance assistance is information given to the LEAs or agencies about the statutory requirements for each EXLP item and sub-item in the program instrument. Technical assistance is advice on different program options related to research or recommendations based on the reviewer's professional and educational experiences. It is not appropriate during the course of an FPM. Many times, we will contact grantees after the FPM to provide TA and broker resources accordingly. However, grantees can reach out to their system of support for expanded learning lead for any TA during the FPM process. As you know, we administer on-site FPM visits as a way to gather more information to verify compliance. It is important to note that when we administer the on-site FPM visits, we are not allowed to conduct student interviews. However, it is common for us to interview a variety of stakeholders, including parents, staff, teachers, and administrators. As a grantee going through the FPM process, it is important to note that you will want to upload your evidence 30 days prior to the start of your on-site or online FPM. As previously mentioned, compliance assistance is only allowed during this process, and reviewers will not be able to provide technical assistance. A promising practice you may find helpful is to keep separate folders during this review as you're uploading them into CMT. This way, you can keep them for your permanent records. It is important to note that we review all fiscal items for the prior year and all programmatic items for the current year. Examples of fiscal items would be Item 09, funding direct services to pupils, or Item 10, local contribution of cash or in-kind match. An example of a programmatic item for the current year is an Item 16, staff minimum qualifications. The only instance where this will not apply is if we are monitoring programs very early on in the school year and the required activities have not occurred in the current year. In this case, we will look at program evidence from the prior year. Fact or fiction? Staff qualifications is a programmatic item that is reviewed for the current year. Fact. Staff qualifications is a programmatic document that would be reviewed during the current year. Let's take a moment to review some CMT document uploading tips to help ensure a smooth review for Expanded Learning Programs grantees. As previously mentioned, the system you will use to upload your documents is called the CMT. Please do not provide any information that goes beyond what is required to provide evidence that you are meeting a specific requirement. We do want to see a variety of evidence, but we are generally able to make a determination if the program is in compliance after reviewing 5 or 6 different pieces per item. Number each page of the documents consecutively. This may be done by hand, and it is not necessary to eliminate page numbers that already exist on your documents. If possible, we also ask that you upload all documents for each item as one piece of evidence as opposed to uploading them all separately. Prior to uploading, highlight the section in each document that pertains to the item you are providing evidence for. Note the page numbers of the highlighted sections at the beginning of the document. Ask questions and clarify items if needed. Regarding the level of detail that we want as evidence for certain activities, we ask that you provide only sufficient evidence to determine the type of activity being conducted. For example, if you are providing evidence for professional development, offered or attended, the date, syllabi, agenda, and a list of participant names will suffice. We do not need additional evidence, for example, the PowerPoint presentation of the training. Lastly, for privacy reasons, students' names must be redacted from all pieces of evidence uploaded. Uploading staff names for staff training and parent names for early release of students is okay. Fact or fiction? The level of detail provided for FPM evidence must be extensive and exhaustive. Fiction. The level of detail can be as simple as providing the names and individuals that were in attendance.
To access valuable information that will assist you during the FPM process, please visit www.afterschoolnetwork.org/FPM.
We encourage you to stay in close communication with your reviewer during the FPM process. We are here to help support you whether you are going through an FPM or just want to become familiar with the process and identify strategies to prepare. Each California region has a CDE EXLD consultant, analyst, and system of support for expanded learning lead available to provide you with necessary support to ensure your success. We hope this video has given you a better understanding of the FPM process. We want to thank you for serving the students and families in your community. This video is one of 5 videos providing information regarding program requirements and expectations. Other expanded learning in California topics that you can access include Grants 101, the quality standards for expanded learning, continuous quality improvement, and 8515. Thank you for watching. This video has been brought to you by the CDE EXLD and the California After School Network.